Hello and welcome to GBR. Find us today racing with the guys from the MRC in season 20 of the GTTCC. This is the elite division. Round 3, race 1. As you can see, we are at Tsukuba and it's looking very wet on track for this one. And after 15 minutes of qualifying, we have Phil on pole in the Lambo. In second we have Midnight, who's new to this season. He's done a few seasons before, in the Sylvia. In third we have Brucey, racing for Team Sparkle in his McLaren, and very sparkly indeed. Yep, very sparkly indeed on that one. In fourth place we have Judge in the Renault, racing for Help for Heroes. In fifth place we have Golden Brownie in the Porsche, racing for prostate cancer. In sixth place we have Bazza. Don't know if you can see him or not. Don't know if the orange is bright enough. Also racing for Team Sparkle. In seventh place we have Mark Schumacher in the Lambo, racing for Team Sads. In eighth place we have Pilgrim in the Citroen, racing for Air Ambulance. And in ninth place we have Raffo, also in a Citroen, racing for Cancer Research. So that is your grid of 9 for this round. Let's get these guys underway for half an hour of Tsukuba. And as you can see, it is very wet indeed. And away they go. Phil should have a good start off the line, being a four-wheel drive. He covers off the inside into turn 1. Judge there has got his way up to second place around the outside of Midnight there, around turn 1. Start there 3 wide between Brucey, Bazza and Golden. Down towards turn 2, they've backed out, they've made it down towards, it's technically turn 4. Mark in 7th, Pilgrim 8th, Raffo in 9th place, but Phil already pulling a little bit of a lead over Judge. That will be the four-wheel drive of the Lambo, giving him the advantage off the line and down towards turn 1 and for the rest of the lap. Judge, good start up to second place in the Renault. Golden Brownie up to third place as well, so good start from him. Midnight down 2 places into fourth. In that Sylvia, as they come around the last corner. There will be a fair few laps. It's a fairly short track, this one. Brucey there in 5th place. I think he's dropped down 1. Mark's made up a place. Bazza's dropped down 1 to 7th. Pilgrim in 8th, and Raffo enough for them to stay as they were from the start of this race. But I think this will probably spread out fairly quickly, seeing that with the weather being so wet, and a lot of guys, I think everyone started on the intermediates, apart from Raffo started on the wets, so he should be able to keep up with Pilgrim and try and make some moves forward whilst it is absolutely torrential. But round the penultimate corner, Phil, Judge, Golden Brownie, Midnight. Mark goes up the inside of Brucey, but will Brucey be able to get the drive out of that corner down towards the last one? Looks like he has. Yes, he has just been able to keep ahead of Mark down towards the last corner in the Macca. Mark seems to be struggling there in the Lambo compared to Phil. Obviously it is quite a hard track to overtake on, it's not very fast track, so really hoping for a mistake in this weather. from the guys in front to capitalise and move forward. As you can see, everyone's drifting it into this left-hander. But Mark got up the inside of Brucey, but Brucey round the outside still is the quicker line in the wet, being off the racing line. There will be more grip with the marbles being out there rather than being on the slick. Racing line, Brucey goes up the inside of Midnight, parks it and then just drives away. So great little overtake there from Brucey on Midnight. I think Midnight saw that one coming. So that's Brucey up to 4th place now. So good lap there from Brucey, under threat from Mark at the beginning, but then now to make a move on Midnight near the end of the lap. As you can see, it's only just over a minute per lap for these guys. See if the rain does stop, then they potentially be going quicker. Bazza looking at the rear end of Mark there, just in front of him. So we've got a couple of battles on track happening at the moment. Mark goes to the inside line, trying to defend it from Bazza, and does so around that left-hander. Pilgrim there, just watching behind. Just don't make any mistakes, and you will move up. I'm sure of it. Raffo there looks like he's either struggling for traction or just not very favourable for his driving style in the wet. But as we come to finish lap 4 already, Phil has got a nice little lead ahead of Judge in second there, followed closely by Golden Brownie. Brucey not too far behind Midnight, under threat from Mark there in 5th place, and Bazza just behind them as well. Just going to sit there and just don't make any rash moves, because there will be something that will pop up. I'm sure there will be. Pilgrim has just dropped off the back of Bazza a little bit on that lap. 3 attempts, but seems more. Hanging it out wide around that corner is best. It's banked as well, so it does help push you round the corner. But we'll jump up to Midnight and Mark. Mark looks like he's going to go up the inside of Midnight, but Midnight should be able to carry the speed round the outside and get the traction down. But Mark cuts straight in front of Midnight, and that's a drag down this straight. But Mark's been able to get that move done. Mark's made the move and then he's got it all wrong going into the final corner. Just probably broke a little bit too late and ended up getting the back end tail happy, and around he goes. He's got dirt on his tyres. Raffo goes past now, so Mark's up down to 9th place. So we've got a Lambo at the front and the back now. Phil still, what's his lap times? 105s, and these guys are just doing mid to high 105s and 106 as well. So yeah, these guys are about half a second slower than Phil in front. So all Phil's got to do is just keep it on the black stuff. Golden Brownie getting it. Oh, big old tail slapper coming out of the penultimate corner onto the back straight. We've let Brucey there in 4th place potentially have a little bit of advantage to try and catch up, see if he can put any pressure on Golden Brownie for that 3rd spot on the podium. It's opened up now. Bazza has got past Midnight as well. Midnight might have had a little mistake by the looks of it, 1:10 on 1:09. Where Bazza's been doing 1:06, 1:05, so yeah, Midnight had a little bit of a mistake, it looks like, on the last couple of laps. But now it's in the clutches of Pilgrim just behind. Pilgrim getting it all tail happy coming into turn 4, but saving it as they go round there. Raffo seems to have caught back up to the back of Pilgrim now. He had dropped off. We've got a yellow flag ahead. Who's the yellow flag for? I'm not seeing anyone. Don't know who that was for, but as you can see on the mini-map, it's already spread out quite a lot so far. Feel there going into turn 1, and you've got Judge, Golden Brownie and Brucey all just going across the line, fairly close to one another, about a second and a half, 2 seconds between these guys currently. We've got Buzzer there in 5th. Oh, it could have been a yellow flag for Buzzer on that lap, 1:10. So he's lucky that guys behind weren't close enough. Didn't look like he's lost a place. So he stays in 5th place at the moment for Buzzer in the bright orange machine. Just staying ahead of Pilgrim and Rappo there. For 6th, 7th and 8th, and Mark there. We had not the greatest lap 5 and 6. 1:14 on 1:18, so it's really dropped him off the back of the pack. So if it can happen to Mark, it can happen to anyone else in the field. Phil there, how far is Phil ahead? He's about 4 seconds ahead of Judge at the moment, so he's not falling away too far. He might be just managing that gap to 2nd place. Don't want to overwork his tyres too much too early on in the race. We are nearly 10 minutes in. It's gone past very quickly, first 10 minutes. But as I said, it has spread out a bit. Judge getting it all sorts of tail happy, coming round to the penultimate corner, but running it out wide. Round, there we go. Gordon Browner a little bit tighter there. Brucey just off the racing line, getting the power down nice and early, getting that back end round and booting it down the back straight. As then 5th, he sits fastest lap of the race for himself the last lap round, so pushing on to try and catch up, I believe, from that little mistake that he had on lap 7. Oh, I did miss that one. Yeah, so all these guys mid 105s for their fastest lap. Buzzer's doing 105.1 is his fastest. Midnight is a 106.3. Pilgrim a 105.9, so he has just set, so he is pushing Midnight along and trying to close that gap up. See if he can get up to 6th place. Raffo also set his fastest lap of 106.9 on the last lap, so he's really struggling in the wet tyres, but seems like the rain has started to ease off a bit. The weather meter at the bottom left next to the timing seems to be coming down a bit now. Mark there also getting it nicely round that double left-hander. He set his fastest lap the last lap round as well. So yeah, definitely seems to have eased off this rain at the moment. So hopefully that will be it for the race, and it will start to dry out now. I feel again, they're all tail happy again. You'll see that a lot from these guys around this track. He's gone purple, so yeah, definitely starting to dry out now. If you're setting purple lap times through sector 1, we'll see if Phil will set purple for sector 2, which is just before the last corner. So the last sector is very short indeed. Let's see if Phil can go purple again. Yeah, he's about half a second already, and just with one corner to go. So yeah, that weather has eased off, and you'll see that purple lap time on the left hand side absolutely plummet. He gained 2.5 tenths just in that last sector alone. Everyone going faster now. Buzzer's gone purple, so Buzzer is on a charge. Let's see if Midnight will go blue as well. Midnight goes purple. Pilgrim went blue. Raffo went blue. Mark went blue as well, so yeah, That track is definitely drying up. You can definitely see a drying line now on the track, that darker patch. So everyone will be sticking to that and not wanting to go out wide to the wetter part of the track. Just keeping it nice and consistent. If you miss a braking point, you will end up pushing it onto the wet part of the track. But Phil will jump on with a quick lap guide with Phil around Tsukuba. So across the line we go, purple lap again, and coming into turn 1, and the brakes nice and early, get it slowed down and beat it out down through turn 2 and 3. They are flat out. Well, turn 3 is where you hit the brakes for turn 4. Another hairpin left. It's pretty much 3 hairpins with a bit of squiggly bits in the middle into turn 5 underneath the Dunlop bridge. And I've got a double left-hander here towards the penultimate corner, banging it down the gears to first, and then putting the throttle down through the penalty gates. Down the back straight we go, up towards the last corner. And Phil's gone purple again. This is another good lap from Phil. Last corner, getting on the curve in, probably not the best thing to do. It will be still wet out there. Just does go purple. That is a lap of Tsukuba, just over a minute per lap. But judge there, he's got Golden Brownie still behind him in 3rd place. So will these two now start to have a little bit more of a battle now the track is drying out. They've weathered the storm. Brucey's dropped off the back of these two a little bit the last couple of laps whilst it's been drying out, maybe trying to preserve his tyres in this intermediate weather. And Bazza looking a little bit wide there through turn 4. Midnight in 6th place, Pilgrim in 7th still. Mark has got past Raffo for, where would that have happened? Possibly a couple of corners ago, I would say. Yeah, through turn 1, so I'll quickly watch this one. There won't be many overtakes around this track, I say, because it is quite a small track for these cars to be racing on. But round the outside goes Mark. The traction of them enters in the Inter's weather, or Inter track condition, helping him out there to get past Raffo. So even though Mark had a bad couple of laps early on, he's going to gain that space time back up to the back of Raffo now. So for the noisy bike in the background, Raffo seems to be struggling on them wet tyres now. You can see there on the weather indicator that the track is actually pretty much dry. Now he's having to go onto the wet stuff to pull his tyres down as best he can in towards the last corner for Raffo. But Phil hasn't been able to. Midnight's gone purple, so Midnight's using the Inter's best so far, but Judge has got Golden Brownie right behind him. There's Golden Brownie. No, he didn't have a leg there into the last corner, but let's have a jump on board with Judge. There we go, you've got the Rexy of that Porsche from Golden Brownie hunting down Judge on lap 15 as we're just about to come into lap 16. Judge goes wide going around the last corner. Is that going to give Golden Brownie a chance to get past? It's not like he's going to be able to, or will he go up the inside? Looks like he's been able to. Oh yes, Golden Brownie has gone up to 2nd place now, and he's got past Judge. Just had to put the brakes on there. No room through the little twisty section of turn 2 and 3, so Golden Brownie set purple as well for the first sector. He's got past Judge. Now will he be able to put away from Judge, or will Judge try and fight back for that 2nd spot on the podium? I believe with Phil there, all he's got to do is just, as I say, keep it on the black stuff, and he will be good for the victory. We've still got 13 minutes to go, but He's had a pretty commanding lead from the offset, and he's just gone 4/10 purple that lap round. So absolutely smashing the lap times there. And now they've gone across the line, and he's about 10 seconds ahead of Golden Brownie now. So as I say, he can pretty much ease off the majority of the race now. Can Phil, he doesn't have to do too much pushing. The judge there still hasn't been able to get his way back past Golden Brownie. After getting overtaken just a lap ago. Brucey there in 4th place, trying to hunt down Judge and Golden in front of him. He's not too far behind, he's about 3 seconds or so, 2 to 3 seconds behind, and Bazza being about 4 seconds behind Brucey in 5th place, going a bit wide there, coming through that right hand hairpin onto the back straight and straight over onto the wet part of the track. Try and cool them tyres down. You ideally want to cool the left hand tyre down because it's doing all the work around this corner. As you can see, it's just drifting out there for Bazza as he comes round, but Midnight definitely on a charge to catch up to the rear end of that Citroen. In front, Pilgrim there in 7th place. A pretty solid race so far, no mistakes for Pilgrim. Mark there in 8th place, he's pulled away from Raffo, so I do believe then wet probably was the wrong choice for this race. Even though it was really wet at the beginning, it's dried out and he's now going to be really struggling, and tyre temperatures are going to be through the roof, and with the track drying out it's going to be hard to cool them down. But it does look like a bit more rain is starting to come back down onto track at the moment, so we've got another burst of rain coming through. Phil was a second slower that lap round than he was the previous one. Golden Brownie and Judge still at it for this 2nd place. Judge looking this way and that, going to try and go around the outside, or is he just going to stick there? No, he's going to stick to the racing line. The track isn't wet enough yet to use the karting line, let's say. Golden Brownie holding off Judge there for that 2nd place. This is kind of the only battle on track at the moment. Judge getting it all tail happy, coming onto the back straight. Golden Brownie moves over into the wet, and so does Judge, but I don't think they're going to have to do it for too much longer. There's a lot more spray coming from the back of these cars now on the racing line. So just allowed Golden Brownie with Judge getting that little bit of a tank slapper coming out of that corner, just for Golden Brownie to pull away a little bit, but Judge has been able to close that gap right back up just within a couple of corners. And it's just allowing Brucey there, what did Brucey set? A 101.4, a 102 and a 102.1, so Brucey caught up about 6/10 that lap to the back end of Judge. And he's going to see that gap slowly coming down and licking his lips, thinking he'll be able to get a podium if that time keeps, or that gap between them keeps coming down. Golden Brownie's got out very wide there. Is Judge going to have a look? No, he's not. Judge just couldn't get the power down onto the back straight there. Bazza there, he's been able to manage that gap to Midnight behind in 5th place. What were the lap times there? They're pretty similar lap times now. The rain has started to come back down fairly heavy again, it looks like. I wonder if this will be to the end of the race, this rain. If it is, then it could open up a can of worms for some of these guys. Pilgrim there in 7th. You can just see Midnight up ahead. The distance between the two of them, about 6 or so seconds between Midnight and Pilgrim. Marks has been able to close that gap to the back of Pilgrim, and the Lambo's really hardly touched his tyres during that driest part of the race. Raffo there So he's on the wets, he's on kind of the ideal tyres for now the rubber conditions. But also really struggling to get a good lap in, it seems. So on to lap 22 now for Phil. With only 22 minutes of the race gone, so really has been able to pound these laps in, has Phil. Golden Brownie's pulled a bit of a gap now to Judge in third, but Golden Brownie's tyres already halfway worn, so he's really used them up through the drying part of the track. Drying part of the track. Judge is about 25%. Brucey are fairly similar, as are down to about 15. Midnight hardly touched his tyres as well. Pilgrim's used a bit of his front left, about 15-20%. And so Mark's hardly touched him, so has Rappo's hardly touched his tyres as well. But Mark's really closed up that gap to the back of Pilgrim. A 1:08.6 that lap and a 1:06.2, so over 2 seconds that lap. Mark caught up to the back of Pilgrim. Probably the closest battle on track now. Seeing that Golden Brownie, Judge and Brucey are all fairly stable in their gaps. And obviously watching the track map at the same time, just to see if anyone's spinning out or getting close potentially for an overtake. But running around the outside of the last corner to get that extra grip. But that rain has really come down. It's now, I would say, classed as a wet track rather than just an intermediate track. Oh, Pilgrim's gone deep. He's gone into the gravel. That's going to allow Mark to just keep on the black stuff and get past Pilgrim for that 7th place. So it does show staying in the race will give you points. Because Mark was probably about a good 10 seconds behind Rappo, and he's been able to catch that gap to Rappo and also get past then Pilgrim. So Mark, he's got Midnight up ahead of him, about 10 seconds or so, the difference between the two. Don't know what happened there. A bit of lag from the server. Oh, Pilgrim's gone round. Pilgrim's got the power on too early there, coming out of that corner onto the back straight. Just got to allow Rappo to potentially come up behind him. There is Rappo behind, coming onto the back straight, so there's not much of a gap now between Pilgrim and Rappo, and you can see Phil is just coming onto the back straight as well, so Phil is fairly close to lapping Rappo. Don't think he's going to do it in the next 5 minutes. I think it's too big of a gap, but we will see. Golden Brownie still in 2nd place there, Judge in 3rd, Brucey in 4th, so these three still line astern, all about a second and a half or so between these three. I think Brucey's a little bit further back. Judge is close to Golden Brownie, probably just that extra bit of tyre life more. Might be able to use that now in the really wet conditions to try and catch up to Golden in 2nd place and see if he can put any pressure and let Golden make a mistake. Kind of similar to what Pilgrim done. We'll have a look. This is what Judge can see in these really torrential rain conditions. The spray from Golden's car making it a bit trickier to see the corners. It's sliding it through this double left now into hairpin right. This is where the spray will really take effect now, down the back straight. Just got to look for your braking point as you come on into the last corner. Make sure you don't miss it and just get it turned in. Hitting a few puddles there as we're going around the outside of the corner. That's where they're going to collect. But yeah, that's the driving line that you're going to see when you're in the cockpit or even on bumper cam. It's going to be quite a lot of spray in your face. Judge loving to get that rear end sticking out, getting that power down. Still not been able to get past Golden Brownie, or try and make an attempt to get past Golden. But Raffo has caught up to the back of Pilgrim now. So we've got 2 Citroens here at the back, fighting for that 8th place. And as you can see on the track map, the car just coming round is Phil just behind them. So Phil's not too far behind now. He's about 7-8 seconds behind them. We have just over 2 minutes of the race to go. So I don't think he's going to be close enough to catch up to the back of Raffo. I think they're 2 laps, but here's the race for that second spot on the podium between Golden Brownie and Judge. Has pretty much been there from lap 1. These two worked their way through the field on the first lap and been battling for second and third. Well, there's only been 1 overtake, but it's been very close racing. Any tiny little mistake from either of these two and the other one will be off and running. But it seems like the rain has now stopped again, so it was a very short rain spell that came through, just made the track just greasy enough to unsettle some of the cars. But it looks like Bazza has been able to catch up to the back of Brucey fairly quickly. What's he doing? 104s, 105. Brucey's doing 106s pretty consistently in that wet weather spell, so Bazza just lighting them tyres up and trying to use all of he can in the last dying laps of the race. But Judge there looks mighty fine to the back end of Golden Brownie. Goes out wide, trying to get that extra grip, trying to get a decent power out of the first corner, down through turn 2 and 3. Into turn 4 we go. Golden Brownie there, kind of in the middle of the track, not going to let Judge get past that easily. I will jump to where's Phil on track. Looks like Phil's going to get another lap. I wonder if Golden Brownie and Judge will get another lap or not. I don't think they will do. I think the timer will run out just before they get to the line. And Golden Brownie makes it around the penultimate corner, just ahead of Judge there in 3rd place. Brucey in 4th, Bazza in 5th, fairly close. As they come round the line, the timer is up, so will Judge get past Golden Brownie as they come out of the last corner? It's a very close finish, but Golden Brownie finishes in 2nd place, Judge in 3rd, Brucey finishes in 4th, Bazza in 5th, Mark, he's just got past Midnight for 6th place, flashes the headlights as they come across. Midnight comes across in 7th place, so great recovery drive there from Mark to get up to 6th place. Pilgrim, as long as he gets around the last corner safely, he will finish in 8th place. Probably not the result that he wanted, but he'll take it. Points mean prices. Raffo will finish in 9th place and Phil will finish in 1st place. Race winner, absolute dominant in the Lambo for round 3, race 1. Obviously that is it for today. Obviously, if you've enjoyed the content, please hit that like button, maybe hit and subscribe to see more content like this, and I'll see you all fairly shortly. Bye bye.